John Hancock here with another YouTube video, and today I'd like to talk about unofficial video game collecting. And I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'd really like to talk about several classifications of unofficial video games. And there is a lot of games that are made every year that weren't part of an official library. Several of the video game systems I collect are going on 35, 40 years old now. And so there's a lot of people making awesome fan-made and unofficial product that is great to collect. And I want to, it kind of gets all lumped together as homebrews. And I'm here to say that that's not entirely accurate. I'm here to say that I categorize unofficial video games into 6 basic categories. And the 6 basic categories I have are hacks, homebrews, reproductions, conversions, fan translations, and what I call Dmakes. And so I'm here to showcase several quick examples. I'm going to give a shout out to my friend who owns an online store called Lost Classics, and also Atari Age, where you can get some of the product that I'm going to show today. Again, let's start. So first thing is hacks. And sometimes people say, oh yeah, I got this great homebrew, and it's not necessarily homebrew. A hack is a game that has been altered from its original code. That additional code has been added to a game to make it different. And the example I use is Berserk Voice Enhanced for the 2600. You can get this on Atari Age. And what this was is that the original 2600 Berserk didn't have the voice, and some people wanted it, so a gentleman added voice to the game, and also made the color scheme a little bit more like the arcade. That is a hack. Another hack, a good friend John Riggs did the Iwata Edition balloon fight, and again, took original code and altered the graphics to make it something completely different. And this has been a pretty popular hack that's been in some magazines, and John Riggs made this, and fantastic. Another one. This particular version was a Cowlitz Gamers numbered edition, but you can get an unnumbered edition at Lost Classics, and it's Guardian Legend Secret Edition, and essentially it's the Guardian Legend game on Nintendo, which is fantastic, with all different different random items, different places to find things. It's a lot harder. If you go to Lost Classics, this is available, and so the unnumbered Secret Edition of Guardian Legend. This next one is pretty significant. It takes the original source code of The Legend of Zelda and makes it totally different game, and it's fantastic. It's essentially playing like a brand new game. It's Legend of Link. Now this is an example of essentially a completely written game that uses some of the original source code. This particular one I had done on an actual Zelda cart. If you check out Legend of Link, it's an amazing hack of the original Legend of Zelda. Other ones, Neo Geo is MVS is known for several hacked games, and this takes several King of Fighters games. It's called the King of Gladiator, and I got this sent to me. It takes a lot of the different King of Fighters games and puts them together into like a conglomerate, and it's a fun little hack. So, next category is homebrews, and again, I'm just showing a small section of my homebrew games. I've had to pay for all these. I wasn't given many of these at all. I bought most of these at shows and stuff. And so here's another example. A homebrew game is a game that specifically has been written from scratch, not using any other source code. Would be a true example of a homebrew. And there's several. My friend at Lost Classics, he and his girlfriend have written Atari games. 2 of them. One of them is Landfill, which is kind of a play on the ET carts in New Mexico landfill. It's a pretty fun game. and his girlfriend wrote Alien Adventures. And I do believe there's a couple of those still left on his site. And so they both are fun little Atari homebrew games written from scratch. Chris, the owner of Lost Classics, also I worked with him in conjunction, and pretty much he programmed the game and came up with Road Warriors, which was a PRGE game several years ago. And you can get the unnumbered version at his site. But again, another example of an Atari homebrew. There's several of these. Again, I know a programmer by the name of Jason Santucci, and I worked with him, and he wrote a couple games and worked with my friend John Rose and some other people, Lost Classics, to put them on Physical Cart. Game Panic and Catacombs of Chaos. The programmer is Jason Santucci. Again, these are fun Atari homebrews. Again, unofficial games. And what's kind of neat about these releases sometimes is especially the first runs, they come with extra goodies. They come with specifically with Catacombs of Chaos, it comes with like a scroll, instruction manual, a little knight figure, funny warranty card. This is kind of the fun thing of homebrew games, is that they're not some corporate release. They have some fun stuff. It's essentially usually a small team that's putting together a high production release of something. A lot of fun. Other fun things, Atari is just one example. You also have Nintendo. There's a ton of homebrew games. This one's done by Con Games, and he made this specific one for Cowlitz Gamers, and it's Study Hall. And Study Hall is a fantastic, great little homebrew. It plays a little bit like Donkey Kong. I love it. So this is another example of some fun that people have with homebrew releases. They even had a homebrew game for Atari Lynx, and Zaku plays like Airzonk, and it's a shooter. Fun stuff. Then you have high production releases that pretty much blow anything, even on like a company level. And I have to do a shout out for Pierre Solar. This is a great example of a game that says such high production values, and it's an amazing RPG. There's several versions of it out there. It's on, I think it's even on the Ouya. They made a Dreamcast version. They made a Sega Genesis version. This is essentially the first run of that. Next there are what I classify as reproductions. Now, reproductions aren't homebrew games. They're not hacks. They're essentially prototypes or unreleased games that never came out. And people found the prototype or had the ability to make a small release run, and that's what reproductions are. Again, I have several reproductions in my collection, and it's kind of neat to see, if a game was released, what it would look like, or it's nice that someone would again share an unreleased ROM or a small run with somebody who would like to have it as a collectible. There's several of those. Again, one of the previous Cowlitz Gamers, we had a collector contribute a ROM to the show, and it was Spot Goes to Hollywood, which is a very few unreleased 32X games, but this is specifically a 32X version of Spot Goes to Hollywood. So it's great. Next, there was Crazyland, and Crazyland was an unreleased NES version, NTSC, and it was released in small run, and I got a box copy of it. Thank you, Josh Byerly. So then they had crazy weird releases such as this. This is Extraterrestrials, and this was a very obscure game. I do believe that was released in Canada, and a very small production value. Very, very few were even confirmed to be released. It was essentially a very small run, and so they did a small re-release of these, a reproduction, complete with box and the history of the game and everything in a box copy. It's just pretty cool. And then even yet another example for the Lynx, and this is Eye of the Beholder, which was again a prototype version of the game, and it was it was finished and put in complete in box and stuff, and a small run of this came out. Next, there's what I call conversions, and conversions conversions can be a wide range of things, and I'm just going to show you some examples. And so the best example, this is a good example, is Rekka for regular Nintendo, and it's a shooter, and it was only released, I do believe, in Japan, and there was people that made it, converted it so that you could play it on and offer it on regular Nintendo. And again, Lost Classics does sell Rekka, a cartridge only of it. I had a custom box made for mine, and it's super slick. But again, a wonderful shooter. But it's kind of neat that there's these companies that offer product that wasn't available before. Conversions don't have to be straight up imports. I'm going to put this as a conversion. And so essentially what it was is there's a wonderful programmer on Atari 7800. His username is Pac-Man Plus, and first name is Bob. And what he did is he took a Odyssey 2 game and programmed it for the Atari 7800 with some added features. And I just think that's awesome. So I'm going to classify that as a conversion because, you know, essentially it was a game that already existed. And so he, probably from scratch, converted that game and made it for an additional a system that it never was for. So I think that's awesome. He also did another game. By the way, Pac-Man Plus, if you go on Atari Age, he does a wide range of 7800 games, and it's fantastic. Again, he did Berserk and Frenzy 2-on-1 cart for the 7800. Fantastic, like near arcade perfect, amazing. You know, Berserk, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I could go on and on about it. So this is great. So again, these are just two small examples in an ocean library of options of games out there. Next, there's fan translations, and translations in general. It doesn't have to be a fan, but a good example is you know, you want to play a game like Dragon's Quest V, and you want a physical copy of it. Well, this game was only released in Japan, and you know, you want to play this on your Super Famicom. Well, Lost Classics, which I think really specializes in those translations, they can offer this game on a U.S. Super Nintendo cartridge in English, and I think that's really great that they offer that service. And this is just a small example of some of the many Super Nintendo games that they offer that were specific to another region, and now they've been translated so that people in English can play them and enjoy them. Finally, the final category is Dmakes, and what Dmakes are is a popular franchise or popular game made for an inferior system. And there's been several recently, and I just absolutely love all of these. It's great. I'm just going to show a couple examples. Atari Age offered several of these, and they're all awesome. Zippy the Porcupine is a demake very similar to Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's wonderful. I can't believe that they squeezed this much graphic capabilities out of the 2600. It's amazing. Same programmer did Princess Rescue, which was a very limited box run, and this one's not available anymore. But it is essentially Super Mario Brothers on the 2600, and it is great. It's a lot of fun. Very great job on this. I got a box copy of that. It's pretty hard to get. Next, you have it's an arcade conversion of a vector game, but I classify it as a demake because it's made on an inferior system, and this is Star Castle. I got this at Portland Retro Gaming Expo just this last year. This is amazing demake, and it's for your 2600, and it's a must-have. It's really that much fun to play. I love it. Nice. Look at the artwork on that. I mean, that is just Atari Age makes some of the craziest high quality stuff. I mean, it's a really great place to get some great collectibles, especially in specific and exclusive. The other one, this is kind of interesting. is Halo for the 2600. And when this first got announced, I was laughing because I was like, there's no way that they actually made this. And so I was shocked to see that this actually was made, and it actually had the approval of the Halo team too, as well. It's crazy. So the last and not least is Final Fantasy VII NES version. Crazy amount of stuff went into this. I can't believe how good this is. So to wrap this up, my 6 classifications of unofficial games. I want to know about what are your favorite. List them below. List them your favorite unofficial video games. And thank you for watching this.